A tall man married a tall woman. They had a son, and they are still pulling him out.
A teacher went to a wedding. They were serving mujadara. He had an accident and passed. An onion. A fish wanted to wake up another fish, so she sprayed water on her.
Okay, I know. If you're not laughing, don't worry. I totally get it. But those simple, maybe even a little cringy stories, they bring up a really big question. What even is a joke? We all know it's supposed to make us laugh, but where did this strange little human habit even come from? Let's dig in and trace it all the way back to the beginning. Yeah, we're actually going to go on a quest to find the origin of humor. We're going to travel back thousands of years to find the oldest punchlines ever written down. And, in the process, maybe we can figure out the secret to why we laugh at all. But before we can find the very first joke, we kind of have to understand the word itself. I mean, where does our whole idea of a joke even come from? Well, it turns out the secret is hiding inside a single Arabic word. In Arabic, the word for a joke is nukta. And according to the research of Dr. Abbas Ali Soswa, its original meaning had absolutely nothing to do with being funny. Nope, it actually described a physical act. The way this word evolved is just beautiful. Originally, nukta was the act of literally poking the ground with a stick. It was also the little mark that the stick left behind. And over time, that became this perfect metaphor for how a good punchline works, right? It's a short, sharp little phrase that pokes a laugh out of you and leaves an impression. A joke literally makes its mark. So, with that in our back pocket, let's go hunting for history's first poke. Now, look, we'll probably never know the very, very first joke someone whispered around a campfire, but thanks to archaeologists, we do know the oldest one that was ever written down. So let's take a quick trip through time, all right? We're going to start in ancient Sumeria, swing by Egypt, and go all the way up to the Roman Empire, just to see how the punchline has changed over thousands of years. And here it is. Get ready? This is the oldest joke in the world, recorded around 1900 BC in Sumeria. It's even recognized by the Guinness World Records. A few centuries later, over in ancient Egypt, the humor gets a little more situational, maybe a bit more suggestive. It's still not exactly what you'd hear at a modern comedy club, but you can see a clearer structure starting to form. Okay, now fast forward to ancient Rome. This one feels different, doesn't it? It's got that classic setup and a really clever, witty punchline that completely turns the tables on the guy in power. It's a joke structure we totally recognize and maybe even chuckle at today.
So why is that? Why does the Roman joke feel so much more relatable than the one from Sumeria? What makes one punchline survive the test of time while another one just falls flat? To answer that, we've got to look at the basic psychology of why we laugh in the first place. Turns out, the core of almost all humor is just one thing: surprise. Laughter is basically an involuntary reaction we have when our expectations are broken. A joke builds this little world, sets you on a predictable path, and then bam! The punchline yanks you onto a completely different road. That jolt, that wait, what moment, is what triggers the laugh. And this explains perfectly why our sense of humor changes as we get older. I mean, think about a baby laughing at peekaboo. To them, a face disappearing and then reappearing is genuinely shocking. But for us adults, we've lived a little. We've built this huge library of experiences in our heads. So to surprise us, to really make us laugh, a joke has to be way more complex, way more clever. But here's the thing. A joke isn't just about surprise and a quick laugh. Throughout history, that same power to subvert expectations has been turned into a powerful tool, and sometimes a really dangerous weapon. Ever since ancient Greece, where playwrights like Aristophanes were using comedy to openly criticize the government, humor has been a form of resistance. But in the 20th century, this took a much darker turn in Nazi Germany, with the rise of what were called Flüsterwitze, or whispered jokes. These weren't just for a quick laugh. They were psychological acts of defiance against an all-powerful regime. And this is one of those jokes that's circulated in secret. You see how it works? It takes the regime's own language about lifting spirits and twists it into this grim punchline at the leader's expense. It's a small, quiet rebellion in the form of a joke, but it came at a terrible, terrible cost. 21. That's how old Mariana Elise Kretschner was when she told a joke just like that one to a coworker. And her coworker reported her. And this was the court's verdict. The judge declared that by telling a joke, she had, quote, excluded herself from our racial community and would be punished with death. It's just chilling. It shows you the immense power that authoritarian regimes see in humor. A simple joke was seen as a threat to their very existence, and it was worth the ultimate price. So we have traveled from a simple Sumerian joke about, well, bodily functions, all the way to a German joke so powerful it was punishable by death. That whole journey just reveals that a punchline is so much more than just a funny line. So in the end, a joke is never just a joke, is it? It's a mirror that reflects its time and its culture. It's a psychological key that uses surprise to unlock one of our most basic human reactions. And as we've seen, that reaction, that laugh, can become one of the most powerful weapons of defiance there is. It proves that sometimes, in the face of absolute tyranny, the most revolutionary thing you can do is laugh. Which really leaves us with one final thought. The power of a joke can be immense. It can bring joy and insight and even hope in the absolute darkest of times. And it really makes you wonder, what joke would you risk everything for?